Hi and welcome to my studio and welcome to our channel Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Lois here and today I'm playing in my studio, loosening up with one of my exercises where I use a limited palette and just try and create an interesting landscape scene, just messing around with different effects just to see what would happen. It's the kind of thing that I like to do when I first come into the studio. Even if I've got lots of sort of more planned paintings in mind, I like to loosen up first on the back of an old painting and just play around with colours that I love and just experiment and see what happens. And if you don't already play like this when you're painting, then I'd encourage you to do so. It's so much more important to learn to play without needing to produce a finished painting at the end. If you're copying demos, you're just learning to paint the way another person paints. But if you're exploring by yourself, you're learning to paint how you paint. And I'd really encourage you to just let go and play around like this and see what happens. You'll be surprised at how much more quickly you progress if you just play with paint rather than trying to sort of copy demos. So I've sprinkled some table salt into the foreground, into the damp paint. It mustn't be too wet or too dry, just damp, and you'll get these pretty little effects. And that's something that it's worth practicing and using this sort of method so that you can get used to using effects like salt, getting the timing of the paint right, all that kind of stuff. Now it's dry, I'm brushing off any remaining crumbs of salt, and I'm just going to go in and put in a fence using the tips of my flat brush, and I'm going to try and sort of see if I can get it to follow the lines of perspective, and then putting in a fence across here should actually bring together, out of all these seemingly random marks, it should bring together some perspective and like a field boundary going off towards the top left, towards a distant tree line. So just darkening up the foreground very slightly, adding a few more sort of plants and suggestions of weeds and brambles in the foreground. And I think I'm just about finished with this painting. Just a few little dots and dashes amongst the little miniature blooms that have been created by the salt pushing away little areas of the paint to give us these pretty flower effects. And of course, etching in with the palette knife has given us those stalks and long grasses too. So here's the finished warm-up exercise. I'll just do a few little tweaks here and there, just soften things back so that I get the look of aerial perspective and depth and distance in that distant sort of hedgerow. But I'm really pleased with this as an experiment and a warm-up. I quite like the way the fence has worked out as I wanted it to lead us along a pathway to the distance. Just going to lighten up this tree a bit because the initial marks there ended up being a little bit dark, so I can use a damp brush and then dab some of those darker marks out with a tissue. but I think I'm happy with that. Here's how it looks in real life, because of course my studio in the winter is very dull, and you can distinguish between the indigo and the Payne's grey. The Payne's grey of course is blacker, the indigo is bluer, although the two colours are fairly similar. But the little pops of burnt sienna really do bring the painting to life. Well, I hope you enjoyed that experimental approach, and that you'll maybe work something similar into your own creative practice as a warm-up exercise. And if you have any warm-up exercises that you'd like to share in the comments, we'd love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much to everyone that supports this channel on Patreon. We couldn't make these demos without you. I hope you'll join me again very soon for some more creative, fun and experimentation with watercolour landscape painting in my studio.